Hello to all of my Gems family. How are you doing? This is Life with Marlene, your Florida vlogger. Just wanted to come in and do a quick topic. Happy Friday, Gems. Wanted to give some Friday vibes, Friday thoughts, some things I was thinking about and was just here meditating about something. And I wanted to come to the Gems and ask some questions, what you guys think. And the Friday Vibes conversation today is about trust. And do you trust easily? Are you a person that trusts easily? And I think that there's a lot of reasons why a person can trust and cannot trust. But for me, to be honest, I'm definitely not a person that trusts easily. I just can't. What is the saying? Fool me once, shame on you. The second time is shame on them. So that's one of the things about when it comes to trust is you have to ask yourself, am I a person that trusts easily? And if I am, should I be trusting easily? That's the question that you honestly have to ask yourself. Hey, Metro, how are you doing? Appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. Hey, Joshua, how are you doing? Happy Friday. Hope everybody's doing great. If you could hit the like, I'd really appreciate it. So, that's one of the things that, talking about trust and in a world, in this life, it's hard to come across people that you can trust. That's my that's my thing now. There's so many people who are not who they say they are, or they're a person that they will hide or conceal, lie, manipulate. So, you know, that's one of the things that I think is really and truly important, and we have to be so careful about who we trust. Yes, Metro. Happy Friday to everybody. We made it. We made it to Friday, everybody. We all made it to Friday. So, my question, to be honest with you all, is why do you trust people? And also, why don't you trust people? For me, that's an easy answer as to why I trust people. Um, I trust people because of their energy. For me, energy is everything when it comes to whether I can trust people or not. And that took me a really long time to pay attention to people's energy, because it's not that the energy wasn't always there. The energy does never lie to you. It just doesn't feel right. Like, there's certain indicators, like you can feel negative energy, or you can feel evil. You can feel that something is just not right, but we ignore those things. Awesome, Metro. Yes, I am doing great, Metro. Thank you so much for stopping by. I'm glad you are as well. So, that's one thing for me, is really in talking about trust, is truly paying attention to the energy that I'm receiving, the energy that people show up, the energy that people give to other people. And a lot of people, their energy is truly, truly, truly messed up. They need to work on their energy. They need to work on themselves. And that's one of the reasons why I just am not a person that trusts easily, because I really have to pay attention for a while, not just right off the bat. Because sometimes right off the bat, like right away, you can be like, no, I can't deal with that person. Or that that's not a person that you can get along with. It's a lot of people that you can know them, You can be cordial with them, but people that you can trust, I think that trust definitely has to be earned. Um, that's one of my reasons why I can't trust certain individuals is because they just they just seem evil people, and we have all the right gems to pay attention to fake energy, fake people, and people who try to do, just grimy, nasty, snakish tendencies. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of people, and their energy is really off. You have to trust people, how they interact, and all of those things. That's so true. So, my question is, if you if when you're talking about trusting individuals, why do you trust, and also why don't you trust? Um, that's a good question. Why? I know why I trust people. I trust people because of how they treat me. I trust people because of their actions. I trust people because of their kindness and their consideration. I also trust people because of, they've shown by their actions that I can trust them. And also the opposite can be true, is when they stop doing things, because people can change, or either they change or the real them comes out, because I think that that's a real thing. You really find out who people really are, and you're like, no, no, I'm good. I'm just going to be over here and just leave you alone. Hey, Lara, how are you doing? Welcome. And that's one of the things. It's like you have to really be honest with yourself about why you don't deal with people. There's a lot of people, and you really should not deal with them. I don't tell anybody what to do. We're all adults and everything, but I guess I'm sharing my life lessons. I'm dealing with some of the consequences of not paying attention to myself, not listening to myself. And I do believe that the energy always warns us first and tries to protect us. And then, if we have some really good friends and loved ones, they'll try to say, hey, look out for that and watch out for that. But I know that there was a lot of times where a person's actions had already told me, like, run. A person's energy had told me to run, but I didn't want to listen to it. I didn't want to believe it. And how many of us have been fooled, played? We know that this person is not a trustworthy individual because of what they've done to us, how they've treated other people, how they treat themselves. But yet you will make excuses for people and give people chance after chance after chance. And for me, that's definitely a thing of why you shouldn't trust people. Don't easily give your time. Don't easily give your heart. Don't easily give your money, because trust is a very important factor in relationships, and not just the words that people say. Because I'll tell you that I was fooled many, many times over and over again for many, many years, believing that people were a certain way because they said they love you, right? How many of us have got love bombed? Love bombed, used, manipulated, controlled, and hurt behind a romantic relationship, manipulated, controlled, and used behind a relative, manipulated, controlled, and used behind a friend, and you trusted them. And that's the hard part. When you trust people and they have not shown that they can be trusted. And I know it hurts so much. And I wanted to say to any of my gems, If somebody has broken your trust, broken your heart, you know, I hope for healing for your heart, healing for your finances, healing for, moving ahead and finding a healthy, happy relationships, because that's what it has to be. It's not something that's optional. You have to be happy in your life. Yes, that's true, Metro. You have to, we trust people who we value and also who values us, because that used to be a thing for me for a long time. I was trusting that person, but then have you ever noticed that people don't trust you back? They'll be very suspicious of you, but it's really just a projection, because they're not doing the right things. They're not treating you right, and they'll, accuse you of things or not do certain things because of what they're not doing, or because they're not a good person. And because of their actions, they won't be showing up for you and doing all the things that shows like, do not trust this person, like leave them alone. And that's something that we really need to pay attention to, those things, you know. Yes. Hey, Lisa, how are you doing? Welcome. Happy Friday. Oh, don't put a sad face, Lisa. I hope you're doing okay. Hope you're doing great. Um, it's just one of those things that, like, I'm trying my best. I'm learning, and I believe that I am a work in progress. I hope you all are as well. Be a work in progress, be a better version of yourself, be exceptional, be happy, love yourself and love your life. But to live your best life, you have to trust how people show up in your life. And that was really hard for me for a really long time, is trusting how people show up. And that's a reason for being cautious. Be cautious, everybody. Be cautious. And we have to be so careful. You should be careful when it comes to you. You should be careful about who you talk to about your business, what you choose to share on social media. You should be careful about, who you give your personal time to, because time is precious. You can always get more money, but you can never get back the time that you have given and sacrificed for people who are in your life. So be careful about who you give your time to. Be careful about who you tell your personal and private business. Actually, I will say this, be cautious and don't just give your time away freely to every person who requests it, who wants to spend time with you. And that's one of the things about trust, is just because you may have the time, just because you may have the money, just because you may have the energy or to do certain things, it doesn't mean that you should. And that was definitely a life lesson for me, is learning to be careful about who I trust, to be careful about who I spend my precious time, and we'll spend so much of our personal time on individuals, and we have to be careful, because people will, unfortunately, some people, because of their negativity, their lies, their drama, their mental illness, they can cause you to be unalived. They can cause you to become bankrupt. They can cause you to lose your home. They can disrupt your mental health and make you so very unhappy. Hey, Toya Renee, how are you doing? Welcome. Appreciate you being here. Happy Friday. And that's one of the things about, this life. And I had to learn that part as a grown, mature woman that I have to be careful when it comes to trust. And that's why I wanted to pose this question and ask my GEMS family, do you trust easily? And that's why that caution is there. You have to be careful who you trust. There's wolves in sheep's clothing all around. There is a saying like the people who are closest to you hurt you the most. And I was asking myself that question. How can people that you trust the most hurt you the most? And it's because you let your guard down. You don't pay attention to the red flags. You trust them because we sometimes are expecting for people to give us from them. And people cannot be you. All people can do is be who they are. And then you're the one that has to make a decision. Is that somebody that I want to be in my life? You know? Oh, I'm glad you're okay. Yes, and happy Friday. Yes, Metro, and that's why we have to learn every day and to always do our best. That's so vital. It's so important that we give this life our best. And if you're not careful, if you're around people who are very unhappy, people who are very miserable, that will make you feel very unhappy and very miserable. Very sad, actually. I know from, a previous romantic relationship. I know from a friendship. I know from relatives. If you really don't pay attention, you'll spend your whole life unhappy. You'll spend your whole life miserable because you didn't pay attention to what you heard, to what you saw, to a way a person is not supporting you or using you and manipulating you. We have to be careful, Gems. You have to be careful. Is what this person's saying, is this actually the truth? Or am I the one making excuses for them? And I know for me, I used to make so many excuses for relatives. Would make so much excuses for my ex or, you know, or friends or other people that I cared about and giving people chance after chance after chance. And you shouldn't. Hey, Sirius, how are you doing? Welcome. And you shouldn't. You shouldn't give people chance after chance after chance. When somebody shows you who they are, we need to believe them, right? But it's hard sometimes. I can say for me, it's hard for me to not, not 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 want to accept that. It's hard for me to accept that this person is a manipulator, this person is a control freak, this person is using me, this person is just a taker, this person is not supportive of me. So you have to trust the energy that people show up. You have to trust what people say. Like when people say they're busy or they don't want to do something, they don't want to be around you. If their actions are showing they don't want to be around you, or their actions are showing that they only want to talk to you when they want something, we have to trust the energy that people show up in our lives. Hey, realist, how are you doing? Happy Friday. Welcome in. And that's why, trust is a real thing. It's a real thing. And we have to be so careful when it comes to who we trust. Toya says, what I've come to realize is that sometimes we expect ourselves and other people and expect for them to treat us how we treat them. And that isn't always the case. Well, I would say the majority of the time in, you know, the dealings that I've had with certain individuals is that the majority of the times, like over 90% of the time, because nobody can be you, you know? And I spent so many times with my mental health disrupted, you know, my finances all broken apart, all because I was expecting for people to give just like I do, or support like I support, or love like I love in my love language, or, give me whatever it is that I am needing at the moment. And I had to understand that people are just going to be themselves. So stop expecting me from them. Stop expecting support, because if people wanted to support you, they would. Now, there are always exceptions to the rule. I know that people go through things. I know that people are adults. They have responsibilities. They have things going on. But there's many ways that you can support people. I never will accept all of the disrespect. Like, people say I'm busy, and that's an excuse. It is an excuse. People will say they're busy because either they don't want to, or they're having their own problems or issues, and they don't want to take a moment or two for you, you know? Because I have been in that zone to where I was being very selfish in my own feelings and only thinking about my problems. But if people are really your friends or loved ones, they will make the time. It doesn't take but a few seconds to just text somebody and to say, "How are you doing? I was thinking about you. Are you okay? Are you having a good day?" Simple, you know? I think it's simple, but like I was saying earlier, until somebody wants to do something, until somebody wants to be supportive, person is not going to support you if they don't want to, you know? Metro says, "I'm glad I recovered from the previous relationship. I'm glad to be better. It was just too much. I didn't see happiness nor love, nothing but humiliation." Yeah. But you have to go through things sometimes. I can say that for me. I can't speak for everybody, but I know for me, when I go through situations, I always look at things as a lesson. I'm learning. It's no failure. I don't look at things as you failed in a romantic relationship, you failed in a friendship. No, sometimes that person just was never good for you, and you didn't want to accept it. So that's a part of eating that humble pie, and learning a lesson, and not keep repeating a cycle of choosing people who don't choose you back, choosing people who don't support you, bending over backwards, doing all of these good and kind things, and being supportive of people. And you will wear yourself out. You will be exhausted behind trying to support. You'll be exhausted in trying to love people. You'll be exhausted in giving back. You will be exhausted financially. You'll give all of the money that you have in your bank, and they won't stop until you have nothing, until you learn to say no. Okay? Got to learn to say no. Yeah, a realist, that's true. And sometimes it's not even a minute. You can texting hello. What is that? Mm, That's 5 letters. Hello. HYD. How are you doing? Hello. How are you doing? What's that, like 10 seconds? Even sometimes it's less than that, because it's in your phone as a thing that you can send as a auto send. So, for me, there's no excuses. It's just something that people say, you know. Yeah, for me, Metro, is I don't even give three chances when it comes. It depends on the offense. I will say that. I like to take things as circumstantial, because there are situations that happen to people, and they are going through something, and they literally can't. It's not that they wanted to do whatever happened, but it's just a situation. So I take things by the circumstance, by the situation, and it's also the energy. Or do they just be like, I can't do it, and they're like, don't they have an attitude like they don't care when they tell you, or are they apologetic and you know and we're trying to put forth the effort to be supportive or be the person that you can trust. See, we each have to pay attention to those things. It's not just one standard for all, you know. Everybody's different. Everybody has different personalities. Everybody has a different financial situation. Everybody comes from different backgrounds, has different personalities. So, you can't judge everybody by the same standards, besides the standards of no matter what, people should be respectful. No matter what, people need to communicate. And no matter what, people need to be honest. Those are, like, for me, a general thing. And if somebody can't give me positive energy, if somebody cannot give me support, kindness, and communication, I'm really big on communication. And especially if somebody is ghosting you, or somebody is doing things that brings you emotional distress, a person who is not who is having a mental issue, and they're trying to project their issues and insecurities and you know lack of well-being onto you. That's not going to work. That's not okay. Those are the individuals that you really do have to cut off. You have to be so careful. Realist says, yeah, yes, we just have to label everyone and treat them according to the label we gave them. You know, that's honestly what it is, realist. Each person is on an individual basis. And it's also, I don't want to say it's the track record, but at a certain point, you do have to pay attention. Is this something that has happened once, or is this something reoccurring? Yeah. And what I have learned in my years of living is that there's a difference between kindness, and there is a difference between being, you could be kind, but there's a difference. I don't give my love to everybody. You can give a kind deed to any human being, you know. That's across the board. I can be kind to people, but giving people your heart, giving people your time, giving people your money, no, that's just not going to happen. There's a vetting process. There is some time where you need to be watching and listening and evaluating and saying, is okay. They said this time, and the next time, is it a consistent way they're treating you in this good manner, or is it haphazard? That's something that you really do have to pay attention to. Pay attention to all of those things. Yes, communication and honesty is so very important. Kindness also goes a long way. It never hurts to be kind. I agree for the most part, Toya Renee, but I do think sometimes it does hurt you to be too kind. That's the only thing I would change about that statement is, it doesn't take anything from you. It's free to be kind, but there are individuals that you cannot be kind to them because they're not looking for kindness. They're looking for you to take care of them. They're looking to use you. They're looking for someone to control. So you have to really be careful when it comes to being kind as like a blanket statement to everybody, because some people, you cannot be kind to them. The moment you do one thing for them, they are going to hook you in, like, reel you in like a fishing hook. And continuously want the same thing. So there's some people you cannot be good to them more than once because they think it's all the time, all the time, all the time. Do this once, do it again, 100 times, 1,000 times. It's never enough. Hey, real odds and evens, how are you doing? So it's so noisy where you're at. Can't hear, but be in the background. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Hope you're having a great Friday. Yeah, it doesn't cost you anything to be kind and to show gratitude to others. Takes nothing from us, right? Absolutely nothing. Right. If you give people your money, a lot of times they'll take advantage of that. And that's one of the reasons why, I'm not telling anybody what to do. We're all adults. We know our own situation and what we want to do. But for me, I'm not a person that loans money no matter what. I don't loan money. It's always a no from me for that. But I can give a gift, I'll give a donation, but I don't borrow money. I've just learned that the hard way. I don't borrow money to anybody. I don't ask for money from other people, and I don't give it to other people. But if I'm in a situation and I can throw somebody a few bucks, that's on me. This is what I can give to help you, but that's as far as I can go. You're gonna have to go somewhere else to get whatever else that you need. I don't mind giving a donation because that's what I can do. But after that, mm-mm, I can't do anything more than that. But that's just me and where I am in my life. I'm always willing to help, but I'm not going to cover no grown woman or no grown man. Yes. Mm. We have to be so careful about so many things. Yes. People do take advantage of kindness. They do. And it hurts so bad to know that people will be your whole relative, your whole blood relative, your whole sibling or auntie or cousin, parent, you know, and just take your kindness for weakness and take advantage of you, you know, and that's not right. It's not right. And that's why I say you have to be so careful about who you trust. And you have to trust the energy that you are receiving. Don't trust the don't trust what they say. Don't trust what they say. Trust what a person is doing. And a person can always talk about how oh, I want to do more. I wish I could do more. Oh, trust me, if somebody wants to do more, they will. The majority of the times, people just say that because they just don't want to do anything. And that's exactly what it is. So, here is a question to my gems. What do people have to do to earn your trust? This is a individual question, and everybody's answer is going to be different. What do people have to do in your life to earn your trust? Um, for me, coming from a big family, and being the youngest, I'm definitely a person who I sit back in the background and I watch a person's um, body language. I watch how other people, deal with other people. I watch how a person talks to other individuals. You just watch all of it. And I go by those three things for the most part. I go by how a person treats other people, how do they talk to other people, and what energy they show up with. So if a person has bad energy, negative energy, if a person is controlling, if a person says one thing and does another, mm-mm, those are individuals. I just got to leave you alone. So that's one of the things that to earn my trust, there has to be that you are doing things that I can, tangible things. What are you doing that's tangible that I can say they do this and they do this and they do this, and that shows I can trust them. Your actions. And it took me a really long time in my life to be at a space where I could say that I can trust them because they do X, Y, and Z. And before it was not that way. Oh, I forgot to say, if anybody is new here, feel free to subscribe if you have not hit the like. And if you're in the replay, leave me some comments with today's commentary. So that's one thing, I had to really start paying attention to not just the words, not just what I believed or what I thought or what they had been feeding me, because people will feed you a whole false narrative, in order to trap you, in order to control you, in order to use you or manipulate you, or in order to bring you down. And I think that's so pathetic. It's pathetic, it's grimy, it's evil that people will say things so that they can control you like a puppet on a string. You know, they'll feed you whatever narrative that they think that you need to hear. And isn't that sad? And it happens all the time in romantic relationships, with family, with friends, with people, all allegedly. I'm just using these titles, but, it's not the truth. Just because people say, I'm your family, or I love you, and you're my friend, that doesn't mean you should trust them. It doesn't mean you should be in a relationship with these people. It doesn't mean you should tell these people your business. It doesn't mean you need to align yourself with. There's a lot of people that we can be trusting them, and we know for sure we can't believe them because of their actions, because of what they've done, because of, how they talk to you, how they treat you. It's not good, you know? And that's why I said people have to do things to earn your trust. Are they doing things that causes you to be able to feel like, okay, I can keep them around. I can keep them around. So, yes, no one shouldn't be taken advantage of by the likes of ungrateful people doing to good souls wrong. There's so much people that are such good people, kind people, loving people, spiritual people. And those are the individuals that get attacked a lot because you really don't pay attention. You feel like people are like you. You never would think, oh, this person is a manipulator. This person has some mental illness issues. This person is a controller. This person is jealous, because they will feed you this false narrative, this lie, this storyline to get you to believe them. And then when you fall for their traps or their schemes, their lies, then they know that they have you. So that's one of the things that we really have to become self aware, really and truly become self aware of. How do I feel when I'm around them? Do I feel happy when I'm around them, or do I feel used? Do I feel played? And that's a tough one. It really is. It's tough. To earn my trust, people have to be honest, not with words, but with actions. They have to be genuine. And that's why I say all the time that you have to trust the energy that people show up, because they can tell you all kinds of stuff, right? But the energy, have you ever said to yourself, like, something is wrong with that person? There's something about them. I don't know what it is, but I can't put my finger on it. And I will tell you that the majority of the time, when you trust your intuition, when you trust that energy, that gut feeling, the energy, it's a lot of things that is involved spiritually with that too. It's a mechanism that's out there to protect us. So when you feel something isn't right, or when sometimes people warn you of things, but there we go with our ego, or, oh no, they don't treat me that way. So you have to be careful. Of course, you cannot believe everything that people say because, yes, people do lie. Yes, people do manipulate and control and do things. But, put that as a nugget in the back of your head like, okay, I'm going to watch, I'm going to be aware, I'm going to pay attention. But then you have to make your own decisions. Yes, being honest is definitely a way of earning trust. Definitely. Yep. They have to be shown trustworthy, telling the truth, being genuine at all times. And a lot of people just don't understand that just because a person does something once and is good, with a classic narcissist sometimes, they'll get you, hook you in, and then change, or the mask, as I like to say, the mask drops off and you really see who that person is, and you'll be trying to get back to that feeling, how they made you feel in the beginning, or maybe they'll start to do what they used to do, how they used to talk to you, how they used to support you, and you want to know what's different is they were playing a game. What's different is they were trying to get you to fall for their schemes. So that's honestly what it is. Hey, King Morgan, how are you doing? Welcome. Happy Friday. Appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. Yes, all the time, realist. All the time. Yep. I've said that many times. Energy doesn't lie. It doesn't. And that is one of the things that you have to pay attention as a mature woman or as a mature man. And that used to really get me stuck for a really long period of time. I used to be like, that's my family, that's my friend, or I love them. And I had to really stop saying that because, yes, you can love people. Yes, you can support people. Yes, you can be doing the right things, but are they doing the right things to you? Are they giving you back that same energy? Are they giving you that support? Are they showing that they can be trusted? Or are they showing you the opposite? Are they showing you that they're disloyal? Are they showing you that they are controlling? Are they showing you that they only tell you what you want to hear? Are they showing that, they're not good for you? And I know that that may sound like something weird or funny, but not everybody who is in our life is good for us. They're not healthy. Why am I saying healthy? They're not healthy for us. They're not supportive. They're not kind, and they'll try to break you down. I hate that, but some people want to see you fall. They want to see you fall flat on your face. They want to see you upset and angry because they're upset and angry. So that's a thing that I always am very cognizant of it, that if I'm doing something in my life and you look at them and they're frowning, or they want to make an excuse, or they try to downplay what you're doing, you're like it's not good enough. Like, there's certain individuals that they don't like to see anybody in the spotlight but themselves. Mm. And I think that's crazy. For me, that's crazy. If you are a happy person, you will be happy for other people. You, I want to see people win. I want to see people succeed. I want to see people in healthy relationships. And I think that's the thing about trust is everybody is not happy. Everybody has not put in the work to be happy. They haven't worked on themselves. They haven't worked on their inner child, and they have shown that they are a person that cannot be trusted. So, it's just a warning that, we have to be careful. Okay. So I'll ask the opposite question. What do people do um that shows that you can't trust them? And, one of the biggest things is when a person doesn't do what they say. I cannot stand a person who is a person that you can't rely on. Like they say one thing and they do another, or they only do whatever is that they're going to get some benefit out of it. If they're not going to be put in the spotlight, or something great won't happen, or they're not going to make some money, they're not going to do anything that is, if it's just for you, if it's just something nice, there has to be something involved that they get some sort of benefit. And individuals like that, I have to stay away from those people. We have to stay away from people who never want to see us benefit. They never want to see us smile or be happy. And those are the same people that are always complaining about their life. Do you know individuals like that? No matter what, they could have so many things, but they never look around and are grateful for what they have or what they have conquered and been through. Everything in their life is a complaint about this person and that person, and they're always pointing the finger at somebody else. And that's a problem. If you have a woman or a man, and sometimes, I hate to say it this way, but sometimes they aren't men or they aren't women. They are a little girl or a little boy. They've never grown up emotionally. They've never got into the space to where they're accountable for their own actions. And I can only speak on that because that used to be me. All I ever used to do is blame. Oh no, that was my mama. That was my brother. Oh, that was the person I'm in a relationship with. It was always somebody else's problem. It was always somebody who was doing wrong to me. And when you grow up, you learn that it's not always everybody, that I am not making good decisions. And that is something for me that builds trust, and that shows that this person has good moral character, a good moral compass, that, even if it makes them not look so good, they'll still be willing to tell you the truth, even if it would make them uncomfortable, even if they have to go out of their way. And those are the things for me that builds trust in a person, that, they're not really benefiting from anything, but they still would be willing to do X, Y, and Z for me or for you or people that you care about. It's those individuals that will just show up for you and you didn't even ask them to be there. For me, that builds trust in somebody, because it gets to be exhausting sometimes, always having to ask for people, can you show up for me? Can you do this for me? Can you do that for me? I am the sort of person, and I'm in that space in my life right now, that if I have to ask you to do something, you can keep it or you can go. If I always have to, step forward and do things, if I don't have somebody in my life that can take the initiative, I'm not a person that I'm not going to raise a man, and I'm not going to raise a woman. If you don't know how to take the initiative, if you don't know how to do the communicating and checking in and being a grown person and apologizing when you make mistakes and vice versa, because I only expect from others what I am doing. And I think that that's important. There's a lot of people that are hypocritical. They'll be expecting for people to do things. They'll be expecting support and love and kindness and consideration and doing things for them, but they don't do anything for anybody. So, it has to be reciprocated, like realist always says. It has to go back and forth. It should not just be one way. It cannot be one-sided. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Metro. And that's one of the things about this life, is that we all are different. And I'm glad that Metro said that. We have to respect people's wishes, and trust is a requirement, you know. just because maybe I may not agree with something, a person's opinions, or what other people want to do, but I can still support other people. It doesn't mean I have to like it or I want to do it. That's how we celebrate others. That's celebrating individuality. That's letting people be themselves. And there's a lot of people who they don't know how to support somebody if they don't agree with what they're saying. They don't know how to support if they don't understand it or if that's not important to them. And for me, a trust factor is somebody going out of their way to do something to make your day happier, brighter, or lift some of the burden or the load. For me, that is definitely a person that I can build trust in, somebody that will take the initiative to see what I'm going through, or vice versa. Somebody who will do that for you. They know you're going through X, Y, and Z situation, and they'll do something kind for you. They'll do something that's loving, and you don't have to say anything to them. Sometimes it's just as simple as somebody saying, I'm thinking about you, and this too shall pass. And whatever you're going through, I'm here to listen. It's not always about finances. And so much people, they fixate on finances. Now, I'm not going to lie to you, because bills need to be paid. And, you can't just expect for people to just do everything for you. You have to take the initiative for your life too and handle your own business. But even somebody being kind enough to say, here's $10 for your gas, or buying you a bag of groceries, or even something old school as a card, expressing gratitude and appreciation. For me, that builds a trust in a person, and it shows that this is a person that I want to keep dealing with. So, this is the last point that I want to cover and bring out. So, just like you can earn trust, you also can lose trust in people. And this is a long list. For me, a quickest way for me to lose trust in somebody is if you are talking and like their attention seems to be somewhere else. I cannot stand that. If I'm talking to somebody and they'll be on their phone scrolling, or they'll be looking the other direction, like if you're not getting the full attention from the individual, or they seem to be irritated or bothered, or not really listening to what you're saying, that's I'm just like, okay, you don't ever have time to listen to me. And that's one of the things that I had to learn for myself too, to work on my listening skills, because just because something is not important to you, it doesn't mean it's not important to them. And when you care about somebody, somebody's your friend or your loved one, if something is important to them, it should be important to you. Just listening to somebody is is a lost art. And I get it. People are busy, but you make time for what is important to you. And there's a lot of people who you just are not important to them. So that's one of the things that I definitely lose trust in somebody who does not make time for me or make room for me, does not take the initiative to me. And I lose trust in somebody that is an angry person. I can't deal with angry people. If a person cannot control their anger, if they're always flying off the handle, screaming all the time, or berating you, or always trying to highlight your flaws. Every single one of us has flaws. There's nobody who's perfect. So I don't like that. I don't like when a person will say things like you always or you never, nitpicking. You did this and you did, breadcrumbing. I don't like that, you know, because just like I have flaws, everybody has flaws. So that's a way I can lose trust in somebody or not want to deal with that individual if they're always complaining about what I do. So I think that sometimes that we outgrow individuals, we outgrow relationships, and we need to be honest with ourselves, that I think all relationships have seasons. There are some people who are going to be with you forever. They're going to be with you in all seasons of your life. And there are some people where they come into your life for a season to grow you, to help you, or sometimes that season is to hurt you so that you grow up, so that you learn a lesson and don't make that mistake ever again. But then after that, um, you're the one that has to make a decision if you want to continue to deal with that person. And that's one of the things, gems, that we have to learn is, you know, fool me once, shame on them. Fool me twice, shame on you. So if you constantly allow people to run over you and control you and disrespect you and not be good to you, now that's on you. So, that trust is gone if a person can't show up for you. That trust is gone if a person doesn't know how to be nice. The trust is gone. Yes. Hey, King Morgan. Yeah. And that's something that's so important. You really have to pay attention to how you feel. How you feel matters. And it's going on both sides, because I show respect to my ladies, all my lady gems, and also my male gems, women and men, we all deserve to be respected. We all have feelings. We all go through things. And if somebody cannot respect your boundaries, the things that you don't like, and they downplay it, that's an easy way for me to just stop dealing with somebody is if some things that I ask, like if you respect a boundary and they don't want to respect your boundary, they want to do whatever they want to because, oh, why is it important? I like it, but it irritates me or it ticks you off or it triggers you. That's all it is. To me, that will always show is this an individual that respects me back, that is loyal, that is considerate. And for me, compassion is something in this world. If you find people in your life that will be compassionate enough to care about your feelings, compassionate enough to check on you, to listen to you, to try to understand and to support you, that's not somebody that you should let out of your life so easily and freely. Okay. So, you know, that's one of the things about this life. We really do have to pay attention to how you feel, and also pay attention to how other people make you feel. If they don't make you feel good, it may be time for you to let go of them. Okay. So I enjoyed the topic. I enjoyed this discussion. First of all, I want to say shout out to all of my amazing mods holding it down. Make sure you check out all of my mods in Blues channel, Realist One, King Morgan, Metrosonic, um, Toya Renee Talks. I think I put you in blue. I don't know why you're not showing up as blue, but all of these are awesome content creators and my number one supporters, Real Odds and Evens, Sirius S. A Virgo from Georgia, Miss Nexie, Boss Life Online. You know, I got to say thank you all so much for supporting me and supporting my channel. Make sure you go by and check out these amazing content creators. And shout out to my channel members, Lara, Yellow Sword, Boss Life Online, Leticia's Third Eye Point of View, Sonia, Let's see who else I missed. Oh, Dave's Adventures. And I think there's one person that I'm forgetting and I can't remember. But whoever I missed, I truly apologize. Thank you so much for your membership. You all are always free to join my membership. It starts at 99 cents. It's available to you. And anybody who is watching on the replay, leave me a comment in the comment section below. Happy Friday, everybody. Hopefully, I'll be able to tap in tomorrow and do maybe a 30-minute conversation podcast or something. I'm going to be busy at work, but I'm still going to try to make 30 minutes for my gems and do a conversation. I don't know if I can do it live with my camera on, but we'll see how it goes. This is Life with Marlene, your Florida vlogger. You know what I say over here? Love your life and live your life. I'll see you guys on the next one. Have a great Friday, rest of your weekend. Hopefully, I'll be able to tap in tomorrow. And to everybody who is here, pay attention to, who you trust and be careful about who you trust, why you trust, and if that person deserves to get your trust. Appreciate you for tapping in. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to hit the like, leave me a comment, and to subscribe. I shall see you when I see you. Bye bye, everybody.